it all comes down to this. Welcome to the final of the SCGIQ Legacy Tournament from Doncaster. 98 players started. We have been left with these two. It's Raoul Zimmerman playing Ross Silcock, and they are both playing Jund.
And this match is for all the marbles.
Yep. And Raoul starts off with the Deathrite Shaman.
It's been the signature play this weekend.
Usually the signature play after that is it taking a lightning bolt. But given Ross hasn't done it yet,
he's got to be thinking about his plays two turns down the line with his fetch here, and thinking about Wasteland too. Because he can't fetch Basic Mountain with the Verdant Carcoons, obviously.
So he's getting Basic Swamp. Do we think we're probably looking at a Thoughtseize here?
I imagine it's going to be a Thoughtseize, yeah.
Yep, Thoughtseize from Ross.
It's quite a good hand from Raoul though.
Yeah, that's pretty spicy, isn't it? See, Liliana of the Vale, Wasteland, Lightning Bolt, Thoughtseize, and is that him to Torak?
Yeah, it looks like Ross is getting himmed next turn.
That's pretty hateful, really. He could also make turn 2 Liliana if he felt like that. Was
it feels like him to Torak's probably the play.
Yeah.
Like I said, you need to get it in really early for it not for it to be a good card.
Yeah. With the Wasteland backup as well from Raoul. So are you just taking the him here if you're Ross and just hoping to recover from there?
I think you have to take the him and then hope Raoul plays. Well, it takes the Liliana. He just maybe doesn't have the bolt to deal with that. Because obviously, if he had the bolt, he would have probably killed that Deathrite Shaman instead.
Yeah. He doesn't have the abrupt decay either. That's the case. But it looks like him, you. Ghostly him as well.
Bit of Ghost Wolf him going on. The best picture. I wonder if Raoul's hymns are all the same. They're very difficult to get 4 artwork of him the same.
Yeah.
From like collecting.
I have to admit I have 4 him to Torax and they are all different artwork.
Wow, that's Library and Bob. You gotta wonder whether Ross has another 2-drop in his hand.
That is a pretty savage him to Torak here. Ross has been on the receiving end of some pretty brutal him to Toraks. Did Ross keep a 1-lander again, it looks like?
Looks that way, yeah. I mean, I think his line was he was looking to Thoughtseize, take the removal spell, make Deathrite, cast Library on turn 3.
Yeah. But Thoughtseize from Raoul, Tarmogoyf and Punishing Fire are the options. There goes the Goyf. And I think the Deathrite Shaman's going to get set on fire here by the Lightning Bolt that was in Raoul's hand.
Would seem fine, and then Ross is left with our Swamp.
Yep. Feels pretty bad for Ross. And another note, any Tarmogoyf here is going to be absolutely enormous. Because we have Enchantment and Planeswalker in the bin as well as the usual 4 suspects. So we're looking at 6 powers worth of 2-drop coming down.
That's quite a big Tarmogoyf when it comes down. Yeah. See, one of the things people have been talking about with Deathrite Shaman is it's a mana accelerant you can cast off turn 1 Swamp. Yep. And that's why it's a bit strange.
And in fact, speaking of Tarmogoyf, there it is, and Raoul activates Deathrite Shaman to kill Ross's Deathrite Shaman, and I think this is a massacre, I think is the best way to describe it.
I don't think the Jund deck can produce a much better draw than what Raoul's come out with here in this game. I mean, if you're going to do this, you might as well do it in the finals, right?
Exactly. 6.
Oh, he did miss his Bloodbraid Elf. Not that he needs it.
Yeah. Oh, it's not 6 because there's no land in the bin, so it is actually 5. Boo-hoo, I'm sure that Raoul's devastated by that.
Yeah, he could have chose to Wasteland his Wasteland, but... Ooh, I don't think Ross is going to get back in there with Punishing Fire though.
No. Does he just Punishing Fire the Deathrite Shaman and say go at this point?
Feels that way.
Although he's now on a 2-turn clock from that Tarmogoyf, because I imagine that Wasteland is going to get used from Raoul now.
Oh, he drew Tarmogoyf.
Makes his own Goyf. And Raoul is going to start going into scroll mode with that with that Deathrat Shaman. In with the Tarmogoyf.
It's hard for Ross to decide whether he blocks here, because if he wakes a turn...
Yeah, he did block, and Raoul has the bolt for it. Wasteland the Grove.
Yeah, because the Wasteland was on the turn, he couldn't really not block there. I was thinking he could maybe not block and next turn block and Punishing Fire, but his one swamp's not enough against that draw, it seems.
And that was a pretty brutal draw from Raoul, who goes 1-0 up in the final against Ross.